All right, so we just talked about the alpha, the boundaries, and communication. Now the next section is, this video is about disciplining your dog. Now I have a whole section about disciplining and how to adjust certain behavioral issues you may have, like barking, jumping, chewing, biting, growling, you name it. There's a whole bunch of different videos and how to kind of make them stop. But often those issues are a cause because we didn't properly have the principles in place. So when you find out that those situations happen, you have to be honest with yourself and realize, where did I go wrong? Because what happened that made them do this? It can be that you're not giving them enough attention. Your dog is just trying to get your attention. You're just not spending enough time with them. There's many different reasons, and I'll go over them later, but I just want you to be aware of it, that if there's a problem and you have to adjust their behavior, it's often because one of the principles is out of place, or even a few. If your dog tends to run away, what is the cause of it? You know, if it escapes your yard, or you know, it may be that you don't spend enough time with it, or you didn't put up proper physical boundaries. But just to get you the idea, there's always a reason for it, and they tend to always come down to the 7 principles. And you need to sometimes really adjust the way you treat your dog, or behave around your dog yourself, or the way you communicate with your dog. Now, disciplining is a natural situation, because obviously, just like we have to discipline our children sometimes by telling them, you know, you did something wrong and this is the consequence, so does your dog need to know there's a consequence for when they do that wrong. Now, often you have to discipline them, you know, especially when it's a puppy. They just often didn't know. They just didn't know they couldn't chew your shoes or chew your furniture. They just didn't know. So you have to stop them while they do it and give them something else to do. That's a form of disciplining. It doesn't mean you have to, you know, hit them on the nose, and that's one of the things. Obviously, you never ever hit your dog. There's no reason to ever hit your dog. You can always solve this without physical discipline, if you know what I mean. So you just have to tell them that they can't do it. So for example, if it's a puppy and they chew on your shoes, you have to make them aware that they can't touch it. So it can be just a sound of your voice, or clapping your hands, snapping your fingers. Some people are more comfortable by making a whistling sound. Whatever you are comfortable with, your dog over time will learn that's their notification by you. I have to stop what I'm doing, and then you have to give them something else to do. So again, they chew on a shoe. Stop. You pick up your puppy, remove the shoe, and give them something else. You don't necessarily have to pick them up, but you got to remove them from the shoe or whatever they're supposed to not do, and give them something else to do. It's important to give them a positive redirection, something they're allowed to do, and praise them. Give them lots of love and good boy, good girl. You know, you did a good job doing that. No, go back. No, go back. This often can be a bit frustrating, because puppies are usually new and they want to explore things, especially very young puppies when you just got one. Just like children, they like to touch everything. They want to explore. What does this feel like? What does that feel like? They use their fingers. Now, puppies don't have fingers, so they use their mouth to explore things. They want to, I wonder what this chews like. I wonder what this feels like. So they chew on things, sometimes as a form of exploring. So it's important that you have to sometimes remove them from the thing that they're trying to explore, because you don't appreciate that. So it's important that, you know, make them aware of it first. Now, once they're aware of it, they often will know that you interrupt them if they try it again. And still to this day, I sometimes have to tell my dogs to stop and sit down and you know, move away from what they're doing. Sometimes my dogs like to drag in some toys from outside that are really outside toys, so we have to discipline them by just telling them to bring it back outside, or to drop it and leave it outside. So that's a form of disciplining. It's not a bad thing. of course, but it's making them aware of it and getting them to stop what they're doing. So with puppies, you often have to physically get off the couch. If you were sitting on the couch, you watch your dog chew on a shoe, you have to get up and intervene, basically. You have to give them something else to do. And again, this can sometimes be a little tiresome, especially when it's a young puppy, because the repetition, before it sinks in up there, they need to have a lot of repetition going on. So you often have to do this. Now, as I said, there's a whole section about slightly older dogs that you need to discipline, and I won't go into too much detail with that. But that's kind of what it comes down to for the disciplining. So again, don't ever hit your dog. It's very important you learn to use your voice commands, or maybe the removal of it. And if that doesn't seem to work for whatever reason, whatever you may have to discipline, look over these few videos, because the answer is in there. It's a matter of one or two of the elements that are out of place, and you need to change something in your life, in your house, or with your dog, and that comes down to the 7 principles again. So that's it for the disciplining part. We'll see you in the next video, where we're going to talk about the respect, one of the most important videos you will see about the 7 principles. All right, we'll see you there.